So now we will turn our attention to the framework for 21st century learning. And this is coming from the Partnership for 21st Century Learning. And we'll mostly be focusing on the skills that students should be learning. And that is at the top of this graphic on the slide that you see here. So we'll be looking at life and career skills, learning and innovation skills, information, media, and technology skills, as well as just the key subjects that students will already be learning aside from 21st century learning. First, let's talk about what students will master exactly as they are involved in 21st century learning. Of course, they will be mastering their normal school subjects, language arts, math, science, social studies, reading, writing, but they will also master some other skills such as global awareness, financial, economic, business, and entrepreneurial literacy, civic literacy, health literacy, and lastly, environmental literacy. These are the 4 C's of the framework under learning and innovation skills. So students will be learning different skills such as creativity and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, communication, and of course the big one in 21st century learning, collaboration. So students will be learning all of these every day in a 21st century learning environment, and they're all very useful skills for the present and the future for the students. The purpose of the information, media, and technology skills is to create effective citizens who exhibit a range of functional and critical thinking skills. And these skills include information literacy, media literacy, and ICT, which is information, communications, and technology literacy. So these 3 skills really help students learn to live in a technology and media-driven world where they have access to an abundance of information. Their technology is always changing, and they need to have the ability to go along with that change and collaborate with other people in their lives. And of course, we have the life and career skills, which is very important for students to learn in order to be more productive individuals as they grow up. So these skills include flexibility and adaptability, initiative and self-direction, social and cross-cultural skills, productivity and accountability, and lastly, leadership and responsibility. And I think we can all agree that these are skills that every person needs to be a contributing member of society in their lives as well as in their careers. And the last thing I want to go over with you today for 21st century learning are just these 4 essential rules that I found on a blog from 2015. And these essential rules include: number 1, instruction should be student-centered. It is so important that our students are learning at their levels with each other, and that can be very valuable. The teacher should be a facilitator in the room, walking around, guiding instruction, monitoring student conversation, but ultimately the students are in control of their learning. Secondly, education should be collaborative. Again, students need to be constantly working together, learning how to do that effectively, being positive, contributing to others' ideas, being supportive to one another. This really helps them learn how to be successful in a career later. Thirdly, learning should have context. We should always relate student learning to real life contexts. And students should be understanding that and being able to connect with it. It shouldn't just be a waste of time for them or busy work. It should be something that they can actually take with them for the long run. And then number 4, schools should be integrated with society. So the more integrated and connected to the society around them, the better for the students, the better for the school, the families. We could do this by bringing in authentic audiences when students are presenting projects. We can do this through technology. There's just a whole plethora of resources out there for us to be able to be successful facilitators at each of these essential rules.